Greetings, Masandawana, non-football lovers. We are back. It's game week 7, and this time we bring you the preview of our away trip to Tlabeja as we take on bottom dwellers, Chippa United on Wednesday evening. Perhaps, how's it?
I'm not even running.
Now I'm not this one team here. We the weekend is now. See, this thing are the games that are on Friday. But it's the same it's back. Imagine Lejua Friday, your weekend is ruined in Jiga Friday.
Yeah, no. Plus, Friday night, Coco Marisbeck, a good event. So hopefully, we're not about Sunday, at least or Saturday.
Yeah, at least when I was Saturday, you get over it. But yeah, no disappointing results on Friday, and not much so performance. But we move on, man. We move on. It's game week 7. We go to PE. We take on Chippa United, like I said. Rabs, how long do you think Daintlade still has Chippa United before Chippa does what Chippa does best?
Before, I think when they played after they lost against Arrows, I checked their upcoming fixture and I saw Mamelodi Sundowns, I saw Amazulu, I saw Cape Town City. Ka bona ka re mona Dentle di tlamela a distribute CV ya hayo because I wanna to last man. But another thing is that you look at the squad that they have and you look at the players that they lost. I think the owner Siviwe Lena tlamehile just o try lo I'm sending the players tse le rona ke o tlo di hloka for the new season.
Yeah, man, that's the thing, guys. These clubs, man, it's easy to put the blame on coach, but do you, as the owner of the club, support the coach? But yeah, they are currently 16th, man. They've played 6 games. They've only won 1 game, and drew 2, and then lost 3. They've scored 6 goals, conceded 9 goal difference. -3. They currently sit on 5 points, and their PPG is 0.83. And then they average a goal a game and concede 1.50 a game. Looking at these stats, should Sundowns, do you go into this game saying Sundowns should definitely win this match? They are up there on the log. They are playing the team that's bottom of the log. They have quality. They have everything. They are a bigger team than a Chippa. So they have no excuse not to win this game.
Yeah, no, this is a must win. I think even a draw against a Chippa that is bottom on the log, it will feel like a loss. I think this is a must win. On paper, we should win this game, and also on the field, we should win this game. I think it is a must win, and we should bounce back from the loss against SuperSport. So you do that by beating Cape Town City or by beating Chippa United on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. It is a must win, man. It is a must win for Sundowns. If you fail to beat teams to cheaper, then if you can't beat such teams, and yeah, you can't drop back-to-back points, man. Imagine getting 1 out of a possible 6. That's not acceptable by Sundowns standard. Even the players and the technical team, the management know that that's not acceptable at Sundowns. Even if we're playing a bigger team on Wednesday, it should still be a must win. Do you think Chippa will survive relegation?
I think they've been there before and they know how to survive relegation. I think it's not the first time we see Chippa bottom of the log. I think they know how to survive relegation, but it is going to be tough, and we still yet to see what is going to happen in the second round of the league. But with the squad that they have, it will be very tough. As much as they've done it in the past, but it will be very tough this season.
One of this thing of always fighting relegation it catches up with you at some point, man. You can't always say every season, no. I know how to survive this thing. I've got the blueprint. You can't always say that, man. You have to be ambitious as a club. I mean, you look at it in the EPL team that's on under Burnley, man. Over and over, every season, relegation. Man. Imagine supporting a team that's always fighting relegation. So now I think their time is up in the PSL. I do not see them staying up this season, to be honest. Let's talk about them, Rapelang. Let's talk about their strengths, little weaknesses. I will start with strengths and then aerially, they are very, very good. They score a lot of their goals from the header or second ball or ball. So you look at Game against Pirates, they got a winner, corner kick. Against Supersport, they got a goal through a free kick. You look at Game Yabona Arrows, boldly from second ball in the corner. You look at goal Yabona against Royal M. It was a cross. So aerially, that tells you, but dangerous. But apart from that, there are not a lot of strengths that you can talk about, when you talk about this team, to be honest. This is not a strength, but I think it's something that can help them. Their coach, Kingwana Gavin, he saw what Gavin did to us on Friday. So he might take pointers from what Gavin did and try and use it against us on Wednesday. So I think Linda, if I was a Dane, that's how I'd go about. You look at how Sundowns have lost or drop points or conceded goals. It has come from majority of the teams sitting back and then playing in transition. So I think you look at that and say, you know what? For me to get anything out of this game, I need to do as a copy what Gavin did. But the thing is, they have got a few talented young boys, in their team, particularly that Matros boy. I think he's player Pirates. They've loaned him back to Chippa. And they've got individual Bokamis. There's potential there. But hey, man, more PSL, you can't just rely on potential, man. It's a tough thing to get young. You need banana or so I tried honestly looking for the strength such but I couldn't. Apart from that, I couldn't see any winner.
Look, I think, like you have said, they scored a couple of goals from crosses, from set pieces. And one thing I've picked up is that they've scored 6 and they've scored more goals than a lot of teams on top of them. There are some teams that have scored 4 goals, 3 goals, but Mamelodi managed to score 6. It shows that scoring goals, they don't struggle as much. The only thing that lets them down, it is conceding. I think if they can stop conceding a lot of goals, they can get a positive result here and there because of, like I've said, they don't look like a team that struggles to score goals. And against Arrows, I watched their game against Arrows. I think first half, Arrows were on top of them. Arrows managed to score 3 goals before the interval, but they tried to bounce back. I think the introduction of Andile Mbenyane and Matros had a huge impact in them scoring 2 goals. So I think the performance that I saw of Chippa United in the second half, it is the performance that they need to going forward because of I saw a positive approach where they looked fearless, where they created a couple of chances. So I think if they can continue where they left off in the second half of their game against Golden Arrows, I think they stand a chance of getting a good result going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, they've scored more goals than certain teams, some big teams that get penalties week in, week out. I think they've scored more goals than them about now. So, yeah, man, let's talk about the weaknesses. I will start. A particular weakness for me is you've played 6 games and then you have had three different goalkeepers starting. It's not gonna jump. You are not gonna win games constantly changing the goalkeeper like that. So for me, that's a weakness. And then when you also look at Tabaya backline, yeah, it changes. I mean, you look at Gamia Arrows, Banda started playing first half as a midfielder. Abamuvela Tonto, CB, second half. You look at someone like Fumbizai. Fumbizai has played left left center back for Bona this season a couple of times, and in a two. And Celtic, the only time he played center back, you never in a three. Or he play left back. So the thing is, this you need to. We always say that back five. It's one area where you need to build relationship. Where you build trust between you and your goalkeeper. Where if this ball beats me, I know who he's the goalkeeper is up high to sweep. So, but now they change, and if you continue changing like that, you'll get punished. And then there's Matiak. Guys, go watch for the previews of the games and the radiator. Umasanda one fan vlog when we faced Golden Hours when you were still there. You will hear what I have to say. I do not rate that guy at all. I just don't see a professional footballer in that guy. And then the center back issue that I've picked up. In most cases, one pushes and then one drops, and then they give away the goal. They give away goals and chances because of that. In the game against Pirates, there's an instance where Shabalala was the last one, and the team was up high. Lodge failed to punish them. It was a very good chance. You look at Golia and Toya Yamodi against Golden Arrows. Matian he's the last one. You look at Golia Dion when they played Royal AM, he's Dion's first goal. So there's always a clear communication, or like we said, there's always one pushing and then one dropping. And then there's Roscoe Peterson. Roscoe as a 6-year one, but I've picked up on in the build-up phase. He hides from the ball. He does this thing here when they have the ball. He gets in between two central midfielders, that opponents, so that it seems as if I know exactly what he does, because I used to do that a lot when I played against guys that I was afraid of. Get in between borders so that it looks like how na back up the midfield down back up into defend how na back at long bolote.
Wow.
Scala, it does happen. You play against guys who are better than you. So you hide in so I will talk about this as how we can capitalize on this thing Roscoe hiding. When are the weaknesses that you've spotted from them?
I think the major one has to be the chopping and changing of the goalkeeper department and the center back. I think it is difficult to develop an understanding between your goalkeeper and your center backs if you're going to keep on making a lot of changes, because this is not a time to try and experiment. This is a time where you should have your solid or your go-to starting 11. And the other thing that they've picked up is that during set pieces and during play, they play a highlight. And the goal that they considered against Golden Arrows from a set piece, it was a highline. They defended up high. And when you defend up high from a set piece, you give the opposition an advantage, because of once the ball gets played between the line and the goalkeeper, the opposition, they have an edge, because of they go there to challenge the ball. And once you hit the ball attack, you are able to generate power instead of how you may feel you are not able to generate enough power and give it direction. And also they play a highline without communication. Hence you see Shabalala sometimes abakapele or Matiani sometimes abakapele. There needs to be a communication between the center backs. And also you can't play a highline goalkeeper how your goalkeeper has to be a sweeper. He has to be able to read the game. Or once the opposition have the ball, let me step up pele hanyane and try to make to minimize the space. And again, you can't play a highline without pressing the guys on the ball. If you play highline, the middle fielder battering ball, we are going to play the ball behind the defense. You need to close them. You need to shut down the space and do not give them options. But also they play a highline and let players have the ball to play behind them. So I think they need to fix that. And also what I've picked up is that in some games you find Chabalala and Mtiane being narrow, and it leaves a huge gaps between the right center back and the right back, and also the left center back with the left back, because of the center backs are closer to each other. And when you have those gaps, it becomes an advantage for the opposition, because of those gaps they become a passing lanes where the opponents could exploit and make runs and great goal scoring opportunities.
It's interesting that you should say this. I can't remember which thing I was watching, and flip. Hey, I watched too many of these things, man. But it's a football podcast. So they were saying it's something that I was taught as a kid, Leeds. Hore center back partner how special it's all how so. Like your left, it is his right to so yeah, maybe one of they are way too narrow. I don't know, but yeah, it's something that yeah. Let's talk about Sundowns, Raps. 2 losses the whole of last season. 6 games into the new season, we've already lost 2 games. Is this a cause for a concern?
I think it is too early, but it is worrying because of you are not halfway through the season and you have already lost 2 games, and those 2 games still on again, you lost them in the previous season out of the 30 games you have played. So I think it's not concerning much, but it is a little bit worrying, man. If we get to a game week 15, and the lost so I think the winning mentality should start developing from this game against Chippa United.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's too early to get into panic stations, but there's concerns. There's definite concerns. You compare this run for last season in terms of the goals conceded. We hadn't considered a goal by this time last season. Like, oh, so yeah, there needs to be.
Do you think the opposition have improved, or Corona who are making those silly mistakes you concede soft goals? Or do you think the opposition again they've improved and they've figured out solutions on how to punish Mamelodi Sundowns?
I thought I was the one who asked questions here. I think it's a bit of both. Funny enough, you mentioned silly goals. I'm gonna address that later on. I think it's a combination of both. I mean, you look at the fact that we've changed how we set up this season, and like Coach Mangoba has been saying. I think in this last press conference, yeah, game your super sport, you look at how majority of these teams have improved, and it makes into it takes the standard of our league a notch up. So I think it's a combination of both. One, or no, teams have improved. Uh, 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 in them improving, they've also figured a way to play against Sundowns. They know you can't go pound for pound with Sundowns; they will destroy you. So you sit back and then capitalize on top the spaces that they leave behind them. So I said what I said. And as well as the mistakes that we are doing. We are doing silly mistakes, unprofessional mistakes. So I think it's both. When Arab say when.
Yeah, no, I think you have summed up everything.
Okay. Uh, Another thing that's a worry for Rapelang, Ure, I did I did not expect Sundowns to be free flowing and brushing teams aside with great ease this early in the season. I did not expect that, but I expect that by game 6, Sundowns would have won 2 games in a row, looking to win 3 and then build from there. We haven't won 2 league games in a row.
Yo,
We haven't. I'm sure I'm not wrong. We haven't. First game era jele Cape Town City ne. Second game era joa ke Galaxy. Third game era ja Chiefs. Fourth game era ja joa ke Sekhukhune.
draw, draw.
Draw Sekhukhune. Fifth game raja ke team ya Cape Town. Steelies. Sixth game
Yeah.
ra joa ke ntho ke Super Sport. So we haven't won 2 games in a row, and it's difficult to build momentum when you do not win consecutive games. How do you feel about that?
I think we should start developing consistency from our victories. If you win against Chippa United, you should work hard to win your next game. And the fans are starting to demand wins in a row. Maestro Gutlo go batla 10 wins in a row. So we should start winning games in a row.
Yeah, no, I think so too. You don't win the league, winner 1 game, the next game you draw, the next you lose. That's not how you win the league, man. Perhaps is Sipombule due a start? I think Sipombule is definitely due a start. I think Sipombule should start on Wednesday. Uh, you know how I feel about this perception now, a middle fielder should always play the forward passes. You know how I feel about it. I always say a forward pass should be played at the right time, because a forward pass could be a wrong pass and a terrible pass that leads to you getting punished. Well, a forward pass is not always the right pass. A sideways pass, a backward pass, at times is the right pass to play. But when I talk about Sipo, the one thing that I like Sipo, Kore, he enjoys into. He's a forward-thinking player. Ha tshwara bolo, o phamisa hlooho, he looks at the option into ka pela hae. And his work rate, I've been really impressed with the little time that he's been getting. I've been really impressed by Sipo's work rate. You can tell he wants this. So I think because he wants this, let's give it to him. Let's give him 60 minutes on Wednesday if he's able to do 60 minutes, because I know homeboy I guess it's in 90. He's not ready for 90. Hopefully game when he played with Mamelodi.
Like him home.
Mohomi badlala balidu central midfield. Half time cover some battle next.
Yeah, no, I think Sipombule, he came. I think he hasn't started a game, but those games where he came on as a sub, I think he has impressed a lot of fans, and he has done very well. And you can see that he's going to fit very well in our system. And like you have said, he's a player who has the ability to take risk. I think if he sees a gap between the middle field line or the defensive line, he can make that defense splitting pass, and his passing accuracy is very brilliant. So I think I wouldn't mind if he starts against Chippa United.
Yeah, let's talk about how we beat Chippa. Let me address Tabayani's silly goals. We are giving silly goals, man. I tweeted this on Saturday on Kare. We will concede Rapelang. It's impossible not to concede. And most of the goals, they come from a mistake somewhere. But the type of goals that we are conceding, my issue with them is you pick up more than one mistake in that goal, and that's an issue for me. You look at Golia TS Galaxy. Aubrey has a chance for a technical foul at the end, but I think on the break, he doesn't take it. Thabiso Rapelang, the runner, Obas, he second guesses himself. Should I sprint back? And that split second made a difference between him catching Ubas and Ubas running that far to on top. So there's two mistakes in that goal. It shouldn't be like that. Gamia Super Sport, Lyle plays a pass, it's intercepted. First mistake, fine. But we still have enough players to defend that situation. We have enough players in the box. They failed. Boxing, but they failed to pick up Moto I1. You ask yourself, okay, 18, if you can't pick up Moto I1, two mistakes in that goal. Same thing goal at Tapelo. Tapelo lets the ball bounce. You never played a backline, man. I'm sure you know in that situation, the opponent that close to you, you don't let the ball bounce. He lets the ball bounce. Yeah? First mistake. The ball is costing. They're not anticipating the center backs or not. No, we should shut down. So this thing, it's really silly goals. If Goliath mistakenly one sharp, we can rectify that. But if you start picking up in almost every goal that we concede, Goliath, Shika udlala pass in, wrong pass. Blesser has a chance for a sharp 50-50. He doesn't take that chance. So it's annoying the number of goals that we're conceding that we could have defended. Better decision making for me in the final third. I was disappointed. I even said, I can't remember WhatsApp early halftime. Twice decision making is poor. Neo, he has a chance to lay off Nasri. He doesn't take that chance, he shoots. Neo has a chance. We are running towards goal. He needs to play the ball into the box, but the opponents, they are facing their goal. You need to play it early. He doesn't. Oshapavala. There's not a penalty. Oshapavala. How Oshapavala as well, but while they're able to and then set up properly by its we should not allow the set plays. We should deny them the set plays to avoid to the goal. We should avoid it at all costs. And Roscoe, what I mentioned in terms of him we partnered, if Roscoe outset the traps on him, the only option or 90, it's everyone's ball. We can win it in the air. So set traps, let him be free, but to a point where when you press him, we can quickly win the ball. Play the way we played on Friday. We played well, to be fair. We didn't play bad on when Peter says we are playing well and getting beaten, you must not be playing well. We're playing well on Friday. So that's how I think we can beat this team. When?
Yeah, and I think first of all, our defending needs to be sharp, and we need to be able to prevent goals from going in. I think there are those goals where you concede, you are like, okay, I think every team can concede this goal. There's some goals that gives you an opportunity to be prevented or to be stopped before they can go in. Now the goal that made me more angry, I think it is the second one Man, it is the first one
First
by
one,
ke
yes.
Masik.
Masik.
O ka setting la Thapelo Morena. O mo shebela ka rating ya hae. Masego o feta Thapelo Morena. O feta le Rushin de Rook. O kora in front of Dennis. O kora in front of Brian Onyango le Andy Lejan. So you ask yourself, motho o fitile plaka tse kae a ba gcine a korile. So I think the defending and the awareness, you how dlala ball, ska focus only on the ball. Check the movement of the player next to you. I think rona defense ya rona ile worried about ball.
You know what time Alarona used to say to me, Hanan coach, once you see one of Bolo and your man and not see both of them, you are in trouble. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, I think we should improve. And like I've said, there are two center backs, they play closer to each other, and there are those gaps between the left center back and the left back and the right center back with the right back. So I think those gaps, they will serve as a pathway in our passing lanes and create those goal scoring opportunity. And I'm expecting us to play much quicker and with accuracy between the consolidation phase and the incision phase, where we are able to make them face their own goals.
Consolidation phases.
For when I would say the creative phase, so that it becomes simple and you understand. And once we do that, I think we are going to be able again, but defend the face because of our team highline. By all means, so we try to play behind them so that they defend facing their own goals, so that also we are able to create chances. And in this game, I'm expecting Shalulile or Nasir, if he starts, to play on the shoulder of Mtiane or on the shoulder of Justice Shabalala, so that once we have the ball, he is already ready to make a run. And I'm expecting the guys like Bumshishi, Alande, or whoever is going to start to be able to release the ball on time, because of sometimes player wants to take a run, but there's a delay from the player who has the ball. So I think, and also on set pieces, I think we can get something, as much as it is an advantage for Bona, but it can be a disadvantage as well, where Lorona we can capitalize and get something from the set pieces as well.
You know, I honestly didn't think this preview that Chippa would be over 30 minutes, but yeah, we over 30 minutes. Give me your lineup.
I would keep Williams. He has to keep a clean sheet. He has to keep a clean sheet. Dennis. I would start Kulisom Dow with Roshin de Rook. I wanted to start Mosal Busa, but hey, I heard he was leaking goals representing the national team. I think we need a left-footed centre back. I think it has to happen quick. Playing what's against Super Sports, Mandela bampasa ball. He wants to push up, but he's scared. Horaplara itla emaka Lotolela right. He's forced to use Lotolela left, and he's not comfortable using his left foot. So it affects our build up, and also it affects how Mandela should position himself as a left center back. And I think if we can get a left-footed center back, I think our build up will improve, and the positioning, how we set up at the back when Williams has the goal kick. So I'll start here now on Young because of another option, and I'll bring back Maposa. I want to.
Rapelang, we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes.
The rest Andile Jani, I played the West 6, Blesser, Spoiler as my 8, and Mayama as my 8 as well. And up front, I'll have Nasir, Musheshi, and Peter Shaduli.
we have similar lineups, very similar. Difference is one player only. Ne? I obviously have Williams. I have Mudau, the hook, and no option but to play Mandela, and then I'll bring back Aubrey. I'll also rest AJ, play into Mokwena. I'll bring in Blesser, and then have Sipo as well. Can drop a Neo. I think Neo is the only player. Yeah, and they're the only ones who've started each and every game this season, and I think I would rotate give a Neo at a breaking now, and then up front I would have Shiga, Nasiri, and Tole Peters. Prediction?
I think we should score. I think 2-0.
Kimagora.
Shadule will score and Nasir will score.
Okay, I'm going for 3-1. I think Shika will score, Shadule will score, and the guy who scores in each and every game that he plays now, Nasir, will score. So I'm going for 3-1. So yeah, that's that, Masanda. That's another preview of the Yellow Corner. Thank you for subscribing. Tell everyone that who hasn't to subscribe to Masanda FM blog. And yeah, today is the 5th of, we're shooting on the 5th of September. Happy Lord Kambala Day. Yeah, a miracle happened on this day 2 years ago. Wherever Kambala is, a million thank you to you, my brother. You will see us on Friday when we bring you the preview of our game week match as we host Abafana Bas 10 there on Saturday.
Abafana base 10. Abafana base 10.
What did I say?
Abafana base 10.
I said best 10 there. When I got run Tibala, when I go clap a weekend when I come why. Sharp, Masanda one. Sharp, Mdorish.
Fede.